Welcome to Geological Shop Talk. In this podcast, we bring you roughly 20 to 25 minutes of practical clinical methods, perspectives, and advice that has its work boots on. Listen in for clinical gems that you can begin to investigate the next time that you walk into clinic. Additionally, visit the show notes page for supporting materials from this week's guest on Shop Talk. All right, friends, roll up your sleeves. Let's get to work. This episode of Shop Talk is brought to you by LASA OMS, your clinic's partner in wellness. Later in the show, listen for a special offer from LASA to help you with all the transitions your patients face. The information shared on this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult a qualified licensed healthcare professional before making any decisions about your health or treatment. The host and guests are not responsible for any actions taken based on the content of this podcast.
Hello, good day. This is John Scott. I'm a doctor of Oriental Medicine. I came out of acupuncture school in 1982, founder, president of Golden Flower Chinese Herbs. And welcome to this Shop Talk. Okay, so today I want to talk about some applications of the Hua Tou Ji points. These are marvelous points to use. And, in school they were taught, okay, the bladder points, urinary bladder points are more for your organ, more direct tonification. Your outer bladder points more for essence and emotional aspects of those Zangfu organs. And the Hua Tou points, because of the way that they work with the spinal nerves, are even more direct for physical function. And so these are marvelous points to use. And so the recommended treatment is needling perpendicular, oblique towards the spine with either half sun or 1 sun depth. And that will vary depending on where on the spine you're working. If you're in the upper thoracics, you don't want to go deep there. So these points regulate and harmonize the 5 Zong and 6 Fu directly by stimulating the specific spinal nerve. And while these are marvelous points with very broad applications, there's a couple of applications that I would like to go over here. And there's a number of great protocols in various textbooks, like the comprehensive text we called the Shanghai book back years ago for herpes zoster, otherwise known as shingles. And this is something that I incorporate with great success. So with, shingles, it's a manifestation of the varicella virus, which is the chickenpox virus that is dormant in the nervous system. And we will typically contract chickenpox when we're a child. And then as we age, and typically often under a period of great stress, the shingles will manifest as a very painful blister types of outbreak. It's painful and terribly uncomfortable besides that. And, there's some protocols for working with supporting yin, clearing internal fire are really important. But here's what I've found that can really speed up the relief. Okay, so where is the outbreak? Is it on the abdomen? Is it on the leg? Okay, there. Where is it? Okay, here it is in this intercostal space. Now, okay, it's very tender there. You don't want to touch the blisters. And you come back around to the back, and you're pressing in the intercostal area, going around the back, going back to the spine where it attaches to the spinous processes. Okay, so, and you're going to find probably 2 or 3 very tender places there. And so this is where you want to needle, in those tender places. And you want to needle those as deeply as appropriate. And you can manipulate those as, pretty strongly, because you really want to work with sedating that pain. And you'll find that the results and the relief from this particular auxiliary treatment will be really appreciated. And, I remember I had a patient, he had shingles all down the outside of his leg. And I asked him about it. I said, well, and it was massive. I mean, kind of the whole medial side of his leg was covered in shingles. And he mentioned, oh, this has happened before when he did cocaine. And you would say, you should stop that. But, so then, of course, I'm needling in the sacrum. But this is a really good treatment. Now, there's another level that I want to mention. The third sacral segment, that area is really wonderful for urogenital issues. And I've used that for genital herpes, so what I'm doing is I'm needling on the dew channel above and below the third sacral segment and the Hua Tou points obliquely inward on each side. And I've had people on the table who are having an active outbreak, and when they get off, the outbreak is gone. Well, and of course, you have to catch it before the blisters pop and when it's just emerging. But this has been a really wonderful treatment. But of course, you do want to use other appropriate points. Now, but I've also found, I remember I was working with a couple with fertility issues. Now, the wife actually gave her Nourish Essence, which is just a kidney formula. And she had a history of miscarriages. And the Nourish Essence was really ideal for addressing that. But her husband's sperm count could use some help. So I said, what if I did those points that I mentioned for genital herpes? His sperm count tripled from the test before and then after the treatment. It's like, oh, okay. That was good. And I've also used this point combination for prostate issues, especially older gentlemen. And these are really good points for improving prostate health. Of course, the prostate is fed by the liver, spleen, kidney, renin do too. So what happens as we age, damp heat can accumulate in the liver channel and congest the prostate. And as the kidney qi declines, we can have damp accumulation. And then also, of course, the spleen, of course, where people, really want to talk about diet with prostate is, with kidney and spleen issues, you can have damp accumulation that congests the prostate. So, using constitutional treatments, working with the affected channels is going to be really an important strategy. But these particular Hua Tou points are really going to be helpful. And no matter what the setup is, and you see people that have a history of alcohol will encourage your zinc to be excreted. And zinc is really, really, really important for prostate health. With liver channel issues, you want to talk about alcohol and zinc and, hey, eat pumpkin seeds and get more zinc in your system. But I found these Hua Tou points to be really wonderful. And just want to mention that we have some really effective herbal formulas for prostate. We founded Golden Flower Chinese Herbs because of our concern about imported products that were contaminated with pharmaceutical drugs. But over the course of the decades, we've designed formulas to address prostate issues. We have formulas that address damp heat in the prostate. We have formulas that address benign hypertrophic prostate. And we do have formulas that are also appropriate for shingles, working with antitoxin herbs and herbs that support yin and clear internal fire. Come to see us at www.gfcherbs.com.
When you're looking for herbs, tools, and supplies to guide your patients through life's transitions, you need quality you can trust. Lhasa OMS offers an unmatched selection of acupuncture needles for every style, herbs from all your favorite manufacturers, and everything else you need to run your clinic with confidence. Visit LhasaOMS.com to source the herbs and other supplies featured in this series. Use the code FERTILE15 for 15% off your next purchase at LhasaOMS.com. Some exclusions apply. See website for details. That's it for this episode of Shop Talk. Did you learn something that brought a patient to mind? Don't keep a good thing to yourself. Share it with a friend. They'll be happy that you did. And tune in again for our next episode of Shop Talk.